guys, welcome back to our vegan channel. We're making some sourdough bread today.
Yay!
Let me give you a little herstory here. My dad was a trained baker. He was trained as a baker, but then the first job, I guess, that he got out of school was at a hotel restaurant, and he never really went into like the whole baking thing, but he always retained that baking knowledge. But one thing that he never got into was sourdough, and that's such a shame because I feel like it's such an amazing thing to have sourdough bread. And sourdough is so natural. It doesn't use yeast to raise it. It uses bacteria, which is really beneficial, and gut health is so important right now, and everybody's really discovering how important it really is to your overall health. So I'm on a journey. I'm trying to, I feel like it's eat, pray, love. It's like...
But all in one house.
Eat bread, sourdough. Yeah. We're not going anywhere because we're stuck at home, but this is a journey that I've been on for quite a while. I've had sourdough starters in the past, but now I'm starting up again, and I'm really trying to get into more of the artisan baking. So I'm following a gentleman online. His channel is called Pro Home Cooks, and I used to have a different name as the channel. Fantastic cook. I'll leave his link in the info box below so you guys can check him out too, because I'm sure I'm not going to be doing this whole thing the justice that his wealth of knowledge will really impart upon you if you really want to take this seriously. If you don't, just hang out with me and make some sourdough. But if you need him, his expertise level, he'll be in the info box below. Just click on it. So, like I said, today we're making the sourdough, and it's the beginning of my journey, so I don't have the Dutch oven, I don't have the proofing basket, I don't have all of the things that you need. I'm an amateur at this point, so I'm just going to do the best I can with what I have. So the first thing, besides having sourdough starter that you need, here's my sourdough starter that's been getting sour for over a week. But
yeah, we actually made a video about that process.
Right, we made a video about that. Very simple to do. You only need 2 ingredients, and that's water and flour. But that will also be linked in the info box below. So go check out that video first if you want to make your own starter. You don't have to spend a lot of money. It's just flour and water and time. So we're going to start out, and I just realized I forgot my wheat flour. But I'm going to start off with a basic sourdough. I'm going to do 3 cups of all-purpose, unbleached white flour. I'm going to grab my whole wheat flour in just a second, and I'm going to put 2 cups of that in. Bam! I have my whole wheat flour over here.
Mateo.
I know, right? Alright, so I've got my... I want to do this as well as possible. Obviously, if I was doing this as professionally as possible, I would be using a scale. But I want to try and do this like you guys would do it at home if you didn't have a scale. So we could like go through it together. So we're going to do 2 cups of whole wheat. Again, you could probably do 5 cups all of the unbleached, but I want to try and follow Pro Home Cooks as closely as possible. So there's my 5 cups of flour, and now the water. I've got my filtered water from my Berkey, and again, what you would normally do is use a scale to measure out the water and the flour, because you got to get the hydration of the dough right so that it will rise correctly and everything. This part that we're doing right now is called auto-lysing, and that's basically getting the flour and water together so that it can do its little thing before you add the sourdough starter. So this is going to actually sit for a total of about 45 minutes to an hour. So instead of measuring with a scale, we're using 3.5 cups of filtered water. Oh my God, I just thought, was that 2 or 3? I'm getting it wrong already.
No,
so
you're
weird.
fine.
All right. A lot of this also depends on humidity, so you're going to go by look without the scale. But we're just going to mix this together. And we're going to put a dish towel over it, and we're just going to let it sit for the 45 minutes to an hour. But you're going to want to get it pretty well mixed together. Kind of like when you made the sourdough starter. Kind of like a thick pancake batter. But make sure it's completely mixed. Alright, so this is the perfect consistency. I'm just going to scrape my spatula off here. And we're going to let this sit for 45 minutes. I'm going to put my tea towel over the top. And we will see you in 45 minutes. Alright, I'm back. Guess what? I just realized that I already made my first mistake. My dough's too wet. It's not supposed to be like this. That's too wet. You want it to be between pizza dough and pancake batter. So this is just a little bit too wet. I'm going to add another half cup of flour and remix. And hopefully we'll be at the right consistency. I'm thinking maybe even a little bit more flour, but let's see where... No, maybe this will do the trick. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit more. So like another quarter cup. I think that's probably right. Alright, so, woo, crisis averted. We are getting the right consistency now. We're just going to knead it in with the spatula. Alright, here we go. We're at the right consistency now. It's not as thick as pizza dough, but it is not as soupy as it was before. So now we're ready to cover this up. Let it sit, and we'll be back in 45 minutes. Alright, it's been 45 minutes since I made my mistake, and I'm so glad that I fixed it, because this is exactly what we want right now. So now it's time to add the sourdough. Alright, so I fed this last night. I think it's okay. A lot of, if you're like really serious about it, you want to feed it like 4 to 6 hours before you use it day of. But I think it'll be okay. We're going to dump it right on the top. About a cup. I mean, you don't even have to measure it. It's like when you feed the starter, you pretty much...
Guesstimate.
You guesstimate. And it's going to be okay. So that's about a cup. So we're going to refeed this starter and put this back in the fridge for 2 or 3 days until either we need it again or we need to feed it again, because you should feed your starter kept in the fridge once or twice a week. So now we're also going to add our salt to this. Oh, good. You're going to need quite a bit, which I don't really have right now. So
Yay!
I'm so prepared for this. You're probably going to need like 2 tablespoons, and I could see that I have like a teaspoon. So let me put my teaspoon on there, and I'm going to have to get a little bit more salt. All right, that was a little bit of a crisis, but we averted it.
We just took turns grinding that salt on there.
I know. So now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be folding the starter into the already autolyzed or autolyzed flour and water. So sourdough, raising it is a long process because it's not like yeast where you just throw everything in the bowl and then you let it rise up. You punch it down, you let it rise up again, you shape it, then you bake it. Sourdough is a fluffy pillow of air bubbles. It develops a lot of flavor while it's rising, and basically it's kind of like a souffle. You don't want to lose any of the volume that you've gained. So you want to keep gently coaxing it. So you don't want to overwork it too much here either, because you want to give it a chance to like develop. So now that we've flip-flopped this around a little bit, we're going to cover it and let it rest and come back in 45 minutes and do basically the same thing. And we're back for folding number 2. Oh, look, a little fart bubble there.
Oh, cute.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to be doing more of the same. You can see it's really coming together nicely.
Looking good.
Looking smooth and, what would you say, elastic?
Looks like a giant ball of string cheese.
Yeah, maybe. Remember when we used to make mozzarella cheese?
But no, we don't eat cheese anymore.
No, we don't.
For the taste, bleh, for the...
Environmental.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna fold it. This, you don't need this like you would a yeast dough. The gluten develops just from this folding. So, oh, can you hear that? It's like farting a little bit.
I did hear a little bit, but I don't think the camera picked it up.
Oh.
Or maybe it did. I don't know.
You want to make sure it's, it's getting all mixed up because you got that little plop of salt in there. You got the, because you can kind of see
the starter in there.
That's where the starter is. So you want to keep mixing that in. Maybe we should even just like go over like that. But we're gonna, after we are done here for the next 30 seconds, we're gonna cover this up and again let it sit for another 45 minutes. Oh, here we go. Surprise! What's inside?
I wonder.
Oh!
Whoa!
All right, so this is the third time. It's making me a little nervous because it seems like it's still kind of loosey-goosey here, but I'm going to trust in the process and hope that everything... Oh, what happened over there?
Got a little pocket underneath.
Yeah, I got to get rid of that. Yeah, so I'm just going to flip this around, try and incorporate that flour from the bottom there. And cover it up for another 45 minutes. And that'll be the fourth time. Well, this is the third time. The next time will be the fourth time. And I guess that's the charm pretty much. So we'll see. All right, we're back. And it's time for the moment of truth here. We're going to shape our loaves. So we're going to start by putting some flour out here. And we've got the bowl over here. Whoa! Ooh. This is the future 2 sourdough loaves. So, yeah, I'm going to have to scrape that out. Yeah, not even going to attempt that. Got to get this all on the flour here. Not too bad. Still not the type of dough that I'm used to working with. It's very sticky. But... this is what we got. Oh, Lord, that is sticky. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I'm going to attempt to get this cut into two so that we can kind of shape it into a loaf. Do this as best I can to get it equal. I'm going to need a scraper. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. You know what? This kind of scraper, not that great. I'm going to have to pull out the big gun. Dough scraper. Alright, much better. So we're basically... ooh, that is terrible. Well, I guess on my sourdough journey, I know for next time that this was a little wet. So I'm going to have to add more flour. I'm kind of glad it happened so that I could show you guys, look, it's not the end of the world. It's still going to work. So, laugh at me, but don't make the same mistake that I made. Alright, so this isn't too bad once we've added a little bit of flour. We're just gonna scrape these into 2 rough loaves, and we're gonna let this sit on our table for 20 minutes. Alright, so we're back. This has been resting and out a little bit. It was a little too wet, but we're gonna save it. I
think
swear
it's gonna be great.
Okay, well, good. Usually, people let these rise up in proofing baskets, but we don't have those yet. I ordered one online, but due to virus, it's not going to be here for a while. So I'm going to make the best of it. I've got a bowl here with some cheesecloth.
Oh.
And I've got another
Let's
bowl.
make sure that you don't have anything. I feel like it's a magician saying, like, there's nothing in here.
And I've got my pan, my fry pan. You don't call this a fry pan. It's like a cassoulet.
Saucepan
It's
type thing?
Yeah, but it's not. And that also has the fabric in there. So what you have to do is flour the fabric because you don't want anything sticking to the fabric. And we're going to do this one as well. And don't worry, if you put too much flour, you could just brush it off at the end. But here's our plops, and we're going to shape them. And I hope it comes out good because...
we need a win right now.
We need a win. It's a little sticky. It's a little sticky. It's still a little sticky. I think it was kind of a mistake to put it on this parchment paper because that really sucks the water out of it. Or maybe it's just a genius move because that's going to dry it out a little bit. But in any case, we're going to fold over from... Yeah, see that? We're going to fold over from the sides. And then we're going to give it one of these. And it's still really sticky. But we're going to make the most of it. We're going to add a little more flour. And this is going to be a nightmare to shape. So I'm just going to say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to leave it in this shape. So I'm going to put some everything but the bagel seasoning on the outside. Because that's going to be delicious and fun and wonderful and nice and good and make us happy. So I'm going to lift it up like a little cargo net. Press it into the seeds. Accept it. Accept it. Don't reject it.
Don't reject the makeover.
Exactly. Didn't get much on this side. And then we're going to drop it into the proofing basket. Yeah.
Oh.
And hope that it doesn't stick to the sides. And they said put a little on here so that it doesn't stick. I hope this is going to work. Because this has to stay like this for like over 2 hours. So we're going to set this one aside. We're going to do the same thing to this one. And we're going to let it sit for like 2 hours. And then we'll see if it's ready to bake. We'll do the poke test. And if it is, we're going to bake it. All right, so these are all ready to be cooked. It is 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to cook these at night, you know, if it's too late or you just wanted to save it for the next day, you could just throw it in the fridge and cook it in the morning.
We're on quarantine, though.
So this is the test, the poke test. So like we have this one here. If you put your finger in and it stays in, it's overproofed. If you push your finger in and it comes back a little bit but still leaves a dent like this one, it's perfectly proofed.
Oh, Paul Hollywood.
And if you stick your finger in and it comes out completely, it's underproofed. So we are in good company here. We are ready to go. So we're going to turn this out onto some parchment paper. Let's hope this isn't a giant disaster. Oh, not too bad.
Nice.
All right,
Looking good.
so that's one.
Oh, that seasoning smells so
Doesn't
good.
it?
Oh my god, the everything but the bagel.
All right, we got our second one here. Let go, let go.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, we're going to score it. Is this knife sharp enough? Probably not. But we're just going to cut it right down the middle. Probably not enough, but I got to get a razor. All right. We don't have a Dutch oven to cook these in, so we're going to cook them on pizza stones. I happen to have 2 pizza stones, so we could do both of these at the same time.
Nice.
I've got my oven preheated to 500 degrees. Whoa.
Yeah.
So I'm going to slip these in, and then I have a little pan in the bottom of the oven. I have some ice. This is going to mimic the cast iron pot with the lid on it. This is going to create steam.
I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
I know. So I'm going to cook it at 20 minutes at 500. I'm going to open the oven, let some of the steam out, turn off the oven for momentarily, put it down to 450 and cook for another 20 minutes. We'll take it out, we'll let it cool overnight, and we will be back in the morning to test these. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to use this like a peel. I don't have a peel, and I don't have a peel either.
Wow.
Right?
That parchment's not too long?
I don't know.
That just freaks me out, like it's gonna catch on fire or something.
Yeah, it probably won't.
I hope not.
Alright, so those are in. We're going to,
Be careful.
I know, this is super hot.
Super
Super hot. Whoa, lost one. Alright, let's close her up.
Whoa.
Alright, it's the next morning.
Ooh.
These came out of the oven last night, quite late, so we let them cool overnight. Nice crust. A little bit, not as hard as I would have liked, but still, you know, sometimes a hard crust is a real tooth, a real gum scratcher.
It smells
I don't
so
like that.
good.
It smells amazing. Oh, the garlic on there is like an everything giant sourdough. So you're going to need your serrated knife to cut this because that's the best way to cut bread. And I know I don't do this right, but I don't like doing the big slices, like the weird shaped slices. So what I usually do when I make a bread this size is I cut it down the middle. And then after I get it in half, what I like to do... Oh, whoa, look at that. Oh, you got a hole in there.
Yeah.
What I like to do is I like to go this way.
Oh.
Because when you press on it this way, it's more architecturally sound.
That is true.
That you're not compressing the bread and making it like... Because when you cut it this way, you're compressing it this way. And I like my bread fluffy. So it's much easier to cut it when it's up on its side like this. And you can really control the slices a lot better than when you're trying to cut across the whole loaf like that. And I don't have one of those slicing machines like a bakery, so it's just these two things. So that's why I go with this this side view like this. But boy, that looks like a beautiful inside, not too soggy, still moist. Smells wonderful.
Well,
The
why
crust,
don't you give it a
not
bite?
too hard.
Is it good?
Nice and chewy. It's 1/3 wheat, 1/3 white. Let's see what Maddie thinks.
Ooh. That's really nice.
I think these are the things that I did wrong. So you guys won't make the same mistake. Or maybe you will. Sometimes you just got to go through it. Wouldn't have made the dough as wet in the beginning. Probably still would have gone a little bit drier. A little bit more salt. I'm going to get a proper razor blade to score the top because I think the inside is a little too moist because I did not score it deep enough for the steam to escape when it was cooking. And I'm going to invest in a Dutch oven because I think that will go a long way with the crust. And I have ordered a proofing basket, which is coming in like 2 weeks. So yeah. It seemed like a big deal to like do this all day to, keep proofing and, but it's not. I mean, if you're home anyway, or even if you're not, just do what you got to do and throw it in the fridge if you can't do it right away. And it's not really that much of a big deal. Yes, it needs a little tending here and there, but it's not like having a child. Right? So I hope you guys give it a shot. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that I don't have to buy bread this week at the bakery.
Yay.
So we're saving a lot of money because it's a lot cheaper, especially when you make your own starter. It's pennies. And hopefully you can get the flour at this time. My store has been stocked up on flour. I'm going to actually go and get more today. So give it a shot. It's fun. Teach your kids how to bake. They'll thank you later on when they're adults. Subscribe for more videos like this and others. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Much love.